Cowboys will meet with free agent DeMarcus Lawrence's representatives at Combine. It is going to be interesting to see if the Cowboys are able to bring back DeMarcus Lawrence. The NFL Combine is the first big league event of the offseason. Many teams use it as a backdrop to negotiate deals with pending free agents and their representatives. Hopefully, the Dallas Cowboys will do the same and clarify their position on pending free agents. With positive momentum surrounding the return of Osa Odighizuwa, it sounds like today could start the dominoes of determining which veterans will return for Brian Schottenheimer's first season as head coach. It is being reported that David Cantor, the agent who represents DeMarcus Lawrence, will meet with the team in Indianapolis. From Odighizuwa's side, there has been confidence from his camp that he can remain in Dallas as well. In all, momentum is pushing from both sides to keep the UCLA product with the only NFL team he has known. The timing is crucial as the Cowboys will continue their ongoing conversations on Friday with David Cantor, the agent of impending free agents defensive end DeMarcus Lawrence, running back Rico Dowdle, cornerback Jordan Lewis, and defensive end Chauncey Golston. Harris also points out that Cantor represents not only the Cowboys' longest tenured player, but also a few other key free agents, Rico Dowdle, Jordan Lewis, and Chauncey Golston. Dowdle, Lewis, and Golston had big years and could command more money than Dallas is willing to spend. Odighizuwa is the big fish from Dallas' class of free agents and will likely command the most money. Still, it shouldn't be overlooked how much Lawrence's return might benefit the team, given his continued leadership in the locker room and mentorship to younger players. On Thursday, Schottenheimer spoke with the media about acquiring players through free agency and mentioned the importance of looking at their own roster first and figuring out who from their free agent class would be cornerstone players. It seems that Lawrence's agent understands the number he and Tank have in mind to ensure he remains a member of the Cowboys, especially if he is indeed a cornerstone player for the franchise. I'm optimistic in our conversations with the Cowboys that they're very aware of what it will take to keep DeMarcus a Cowboy, Cantor said to 105.3 The Fan. Honestly, that's up to them. It's not up to us. There's a number. That number gets done and DeMarcus is wearing 90 and running back on the field. The Cowboys have been criticized for handling contracts and for waiting until the last minute to get things done. With the sheer volume of free agents, they might not have the luxury of time on their side, especially with the new league year starting in a few weeks. There is also the question of whether Micah Parsons will get a new record-setting contract this offseason. Cantor is very aware of how solving those problems can have a trickle-down effect. Knowing the current salary cap number and where the dollars will be allocated in 2025-2026 makes deals much easier to complete. Free agency and building your roster, it's not just go get Micah Parsons extended, he said. If we get him extended, what does that do to the rest of the roster? It's not just go pay Osa a big deal. What does that do to Chauncey? What does that do to Jordan? What does that do to free agents? How do you kick money down the road with the Dak or CD deals? What does that do to the running back position? Playing devil's advocate, could there be a scenario without Lawrence in Dallas for next season? When they drafted Marshawn Kneeland in the second round last year, it became evident that he could be Lawrence's successor. The front office could resign Golston to a long-term deal rather than opt for a one-year contract with the veteran pass rusher. Golston is younger and could continue to build on his career high of five sacks. Lawrence's return might hinder their development. If the Cowboys have a potential framework for a new deal with Odighizuwa in place, they can enter Friday's discussion with a clear idea of what they are willing to offer Lawrence and the other three free agents represented by Cantor. Lawrence is the last tether to the 2014 Dream Team. If last season was the end of his time in Dallas, it will truly signal a new era. We should have answers soon enough. One free agent who can help fill Dallas Cowboys' biggest offseason need. Will the Cowboys be players in the free agent battles? While the Dallas Cowboys try to wrap up their own free agent, the team must also consider if a trade for a wide receiver should be in the works. And here is one free agent who can help fill the Cowboys' biggest offseason need. Coming off a highly disappointing 2024 season, the Cowboys are still feeling the sting. To get things back on track under first-year head coach Brian Schottenheimer, the Cowboys need to make a few roster moves. One of the problems came from the defense, but that could be shored up in part with better health and the signing of Osa Odighizuwa. The only problem with the following solution is finding the money to get it done. Cowboys should sign Chiefs. LB Nick Bolton, let's face it, the Cowboys need to get tougher on defense. And this is what Bolton would bring to the team, according to Pro Football Focus. Bolton has been a staple at the middle linebacker spot almost from day one, PFF wrote. He is a bit stiff when flipping his hips and can get picked on at times in coverage, but he is an absolute bruiser coming forward in the run game. An absolute bruiser is exactly what Dallas needs. Bolton will command $15 million a year along with 4 years on the ledger. The Cowboys would need to shell out $40 million in guaranteed money. That's a lot for a team that isn't in the best place in regards to cap space. Cowboys counter Stephen Jones said the team plans to be aggressive in free agency, but there's a hedged bet, according to Dallas Cowboys. We're going to look at everything we can. We're going to be selectively aggressive, Jones said. There's things in this league. You have certain amount of resources they allow you to have, and we will look at that, but we're going to try to improve our football team. Not try. We're going to improve our football team, and we expect to have success next year. Perhaps the hesitancy is because Jones believes the Cowboys would have been fine in 2024 without all of the injuries. At the end of the day, no excuses, but when you have the injuries we had, it's difficult, Jones said. That makes it hard. We're going to obviously look at everything we do in terms of how we go about making this team better, how we improve the roster, and you always look for ways to improve, and that's what we're going to do. Nick Bolton will likely be on the market. The Chiefs have apparently decided to move on from Bolton, who graded out at 64, 0 overall, according to PFF. That ranked number 44 among 84 linebackers. One of the problems is the way Bolton fits into the franchise tag numbers, according to Sports Illustrated, because of the proliferation of 34 defenses which play defensive ends from a 2-point stance on early downs and call them outside linebackers. The linebacker number is based on what top edge rushers make, rather than what traditional off-ball linebackers get, Albert Breer wrote. So Bolton is grouped together with guys such as T.J. Watt, Brian Burns, and Rashawn Gary. And his tag number will likely top $27 million. That's way over what the top off-ball linebackers make, Breer added, referring to Bolton and Trey Smith. In the end, as I see it, that leaves Kansas City with little choice but to negotiate in good faith with those guys, knowing there's little stopping them from getting to the market, and knowing that those guys' best move probably is to go to the market. The Cowboys will have competition if they want to get into the Bolton mix. The 49ers appear to be in line for a shot at him, according to Pro Football Network. It is intriguing to put a player like Nick Bolton next to Fred Warner, Ben Rolfe wrote. Bolton was the centerpiece of the Chiefs' offense and has the chance to be Warner's long-term partner in the center of the 49ers defense. We have seen that the 49ers place a high importance on the position, and Bolton could be the next evolution of that. Bolton has 3 100-tackle seasons in his first 4 years and has also proven a nuisance around the quarterback. He is a versatile piece that feels like a luxury for the 49ers, but he can get after the passer or drop into coverage. The thought of Warner and Bolton together in a defense will be terrifying for opposing offenses. All of that sounds good for the Cowboys. However, the Cowboys might need to ask more of Bolton than the 49ers would need him to do. Battling with the 49ers could be a turning point in the final decision by Bolton. Does he want to go to a team with an established coaching staff, or does he want to be part of the new regime with Brian Schottenheimer in Dallas? Wherever Bolton lands, he figures to be an important part of the defensive scheme. The Chiefs could keep him, but the Cincinnati Bengals also appear to be in the mix, according to USA Today's Jacob Kamenker. Here's another move where an AFC contender gets better at the expense of the Chiefs, Kamenker wrote. The Bengals need a 3-down linebacker to replace Jermaine Pratt, who requested a trade, and soon to be 25-year-old Bolton would be a core building block in Al Golden's defense.